Do you like the Aranara? I mean, how can you not? They are adorable, hilarious, have amazing stories, and make for a great salad. So, if you like the Aranara like I do, or you're just curious to learn more about them because you skipped this short 11-hour-long quest, then stick with me because I will be going through every single one of them and give you a short explanation of who they are and tell you some other things I found interesting. Starting off with Arabalika, Breaker of Iron Chunks. Arabalika is the most badass character in Genshin next to Capitano. He's one of the strongest Aranara when it comes to combat, and he uses his power to protect the forest and his people, which is why so many Aranara have a high opinion of him. Something I really loved is that before you meet him in the Aranara quest, other Aranara are hyping him up as this badass fighter, and when you finally meet him, he one-shots a Ruin Guard. It was such a cool build-up and introduction for a character, I loved it. Arachanda, an Aranara you can find in these locations who gives you some challenges in exchange for common chests. You can get a total of 3 common chests from this fella, which is 6 primos. Now I'm going to talk about a little family of Aranara, which consists of 4 cooks, which are brothers, and their sister. Arapakati is not actually their sister, she just acts like it. They don't really have family bonds or genders, they are plants after all. The reason they think of each other as siblings is because they love each other the exact same way humans love their siblings. The first of these cooks is Arachatora. He's a mushroom enthusiast who loves making all kinds of dishes that include mushrooms, even if those mushrooms make him become as high as a kite. Arapas.
Where's the lamb sauce?
This guy is literally Gordon Ramsay. He insults everyone and everything, has anger issues, and calls you tasteless if you don't like his food. Also, he's very nitpicky about what kind of water he uses in his dishes. The problem with his food is that it's actually not good. At least not when you taste it. All he cares about is making his food smell good instead of taste good. Arafala. A very sleepy Aranara. In the Aranara quest, you wake him up from a nap that lasted multiple years. Still, he's very passionate about cooking, but it means something different for him. It's more about getting the perfect ingredients than actually making a dish. Instead of making a mango cake, he prefers searching for the perfect mango and just eat that. Arasaka.
What you're witnessing is this organism performing a ritual in order to summon a demon.
In the Aranara quest, he is searching for something called the Taste of Happiness, which is something that he ate a very long time ago with a human friend of his and he felt really happy while eating it. We later find out that the Taste of Happiness is actually just sugar, but he doesn't feel as happy when he tries it again because what really made him happy is being together with his friend, who is now a grown-up and forgot about Arasaka's existence. Aradanish, another Aranara who gives you some challenges in exchange for common chests. Aradasa, Arakavi, Arasudraka, and Arayasa. They are the 4 singers from the Festival Ustava cutscene. Aramahukunda, the very first Aranara to ever exist. The rest of the Aranara treat him like a god, but not only because he's the first, it's also because he was an absolute legend who saved the whole forest and a lot of the Aranara with it. 500 years ago, when the Abyss corruption ravaged Old Vanarana, he turned himself into a Vasara tree in order to seal away this monster that was destroying their home and would have destroyed the rest of the forest. Unfortunately, the last 500 years have severely corroded him to the point where this huge trunk is all that remains of his beautiful tree. This corrosion is what allowed the monster to damage the forest once again with these withering zones. This is where the Traveler, Paimon, and Arama come in. He's the one who introduces you to the village, shows you around, explains how things work, what you have to do, and so on. By the end of the quest, Arama became one of the, if not the most powerful Aranara to ever exist. Together with him, the Traveler was able to defeat this abyss creature and save the forest. Arama became one of the best friends we ever made, which is why it hurt so much when he turned into a tree at the end of the fight in order to make a fruit that would save Rana's life. You can actually visit and sing this song for him once every day. The reason Arama became so powerful is because he absorbed the memories of Aramahukunda, Araji, Aramaha, and Arayama. All 3 of them are historical figures of the Aranara who fought together like brothers against the Abyss 500 years ago. Unfortunately, they are not really around anymore because they also turned into trees. Aradasha. Another Aranara who is not around anymore but is considered a legend because he was the most powerful Aranara to ever exist. Although I'm pretty sure Arama now holds that title. After the Cataclysm, a bunch of Kandrian iron chunks began attacking the forest, but Aradasha was able to defeat and seal them away on his own. Aradasha is so beloved that he even got some fans who aspire to become heroes just like him. Aradashan, Arayuta, Arasata and Arasasha. They took it upon themselves to protect these seals and make sure these iron chunks wouldn't escape and terrorize the forest ever again. You can actually break these seals and defeat the iron chunks, in which case these 4 cabbages will thank you and you unlock a quest where you fight the last iron chunk Aradasha sealed away. Arapraphu. He's constantly training day and night no matter what. Why? Well, because he wants to be able to protect his home and aspires to become a legend just like Aradasha. Araesha. An Aranara who loves riddles, but what he loves even more is annoying other people and Aranara with his riddles. Aragaru. A very enthusiastic and hyperactive Aranara, so much so that I'm absolutely convinced he's on crack. Aragita. Yet another Aranara who gives you some challenges in exchange for common chests. Araja. He's the chief of the new Vanarana village. During the time of the Cataclysm, Araja sacrificed his physical form and became the Tree of Dreams, creating the dream realm of Creating the dream realm of Mahavava... Creating the dream realm of Creating the dream realm of Mahavanarapna. In other words, New Vanarana, but in the dream world where Aranara live. This whole village is inside Araja's dream. He did this so his people could live in peace, undisturbed by Sumeru's devastation and humans.
Hey, baby. I live in the shadows. Justice. Forget them!
Arakanta. Yeah, this guy loves running. That's it. He's pretty bad at running though, just look how easily I can style on him. Arakara. An Aranara who is really passionate about farming but doesn't really understand the way humans do farming. The way he does it is praising the plants and singing to them. Arakarman. A little grandpa who will tell you a few interesting stories about the Aranara. You can find him here in case you're curious. Arakasiapa. An Aranara that Kave's father taught how to read and write when he was a child. Arakaya. Just a random Aranara who took part in preparing Nahida's secret present in this event. Arakunti. A socially awkward Aranara who is quite bad at communicating clearly because he talks in a poetic, philosophical way. Aralila and Aranishat. 2 Aranara who love playing hide and seek together and they are quite competitive about it. Aralohita. A historical figure of the Aranara who accompanied Pir Kavikaus when he was alive. He was a genius scholar who studied this huge iron golem and made great discoveries about it. Unfortunately, he died before anyone could see his research, but Aralohita saved some of his research and locked it behind riddles and puzzles. Aramani. He's a merchant, but not one of those cool, mysterious ones who sell you exactly what you need. No, he's more of a scammer. The only thing he claims to sell is happiness. I know it's a scam because I bought it from him, yet I'm still depressed. Araminali. The Aranara guarding all these beautiful chests that you unlock after helping all 64 Aranara scattered across Sumeru. Good luck. Arana. The very first Aranara we ever met. Arana used to be friends with Rana when she was a child. Naturally, she forgot about Arana when she turned into a taxpayer. And ironically, Arana also forgot about Rana by the end of the quest because she gave her memories to Arama in order to save Rana's life. When Rana finally woke up by the end of the quest, she was able to see and remember Arana once again. So they decided to go on adventures together and create new unforgettable memories. Aranaga, aka Little Bean or Aramango. Aranaga is what would happen if Yoda turned into a plant, because they talk and act the exact same way. Not gonna lie, Paimon actually gave a good nickname for once. Too bad Aranaga is not a big fan of it. Aranakin. A very smart Aranara. At least that's what he claims to be. He's a little arrogant. At least he's smart enough to realize that Paimon is an idiot. Aranakula. A cowardly Aranara who is also a little naive. You can think of him as a gardener. He's very familiar with everything related to plants and soil, especially flowers. Aranimba. In the past, he used to stick together with Araminali and Arayama. During one of his journeys, he got lost in a dangerous place and turned into a seed to hibernate and protect himself. The Traveler and Paimon would eventually discover Aranimba in the form of the shriveled seed and restore him to his original form. After a brief reunion with Araminali, Aranimba would depart on another journey, visiting places in the desert, a place where most of his kind dread to visit. Arapandu. We don't really know much about this fella other than he's smart, which is really weird considering he has a lot of lines. He mostly just explained a bunch of stuff to the Traveler, like the history of the Aranara, how the forest works, how to do your taxes, and so on. Arapratap. A rude little bastard. You can find him in the open world and play games with him, but every time you fail, he calls you an idiot. I'm going to cook you. Arapurva, one of the Aranara that appears in Yomama's story quest. He was the one who helped Avin find her best friend, Arashani. Ararikan, a brave hero who fights to protect his homeland with this magnificent, powerful and fear-inducing wooden toy sword. He's actually pretty powerful. You see this big chunk of iron? Well, he can just casually lift it and move it around. Something very interesting about him is his color. Every other Aranara is some kind of shade of green, brown or yellow. Colors commonly found in nature, but Ararikan is the only blue Aranara, and I really wish I knew why. Arashakun, a timid Aranara who is extremely scared of everyone and everything. But even so, he managed to find a human who understood and supported him, and they would eventually become best friends. One day, Arashakun's friend was kidnapped by a Hilichurl, but no matter how scared he was, he went there, beat him up, and saved his friend. His friend would eventually teach Arashakun how to read and write, and Arashakun started writing a journal, where he still writes about his friend, who unfortunately probably forgot about Arashakun's existence when they turned into an adult. But even so, Arashakun will forever remember his best friend and treasure the memories they created together. Aravedana, another Aranara that took part in preparing Nahida's secret present in this event. Aravinai, the Aranara you buy weapon blueprints from. He's a story collector who will tell you a story in exchange for another story. Fun fact, that stick in his hand grows bigger with each story, until one day it will turn into a big beautiful tree. Arayash, this Aranara is very protective of his home and his people. Also, he's a little paranoid. Even when everyone was having fun at the festival, he couldn't stop worrying about bad people coming to harm them. So he stayed vigilant and kept guarding the place like a real protector. And that's it. That was every single Aranara in Genshin Impact. I tried my best to give you the most important and interesting details about each Aranara, but I obviously left out a ton of stuff, because these goobers have a lot of lore. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. In case you want more Aranara content, you can check out this video over here. It's a pretty fun one. I wish you all the best, I'm out.